Let me ask you a question that most men have probably wondered about but rarely discuss openly. What truly happens if a man ejaculates every single day? Is it a sign of a healthy, active body, or could it gradually drain energy, affect performance, or even lead to deeper health issues over time? This question has lingered in the shadows for generations, often surrounded by myths, misconceptions, and silent curiosity. In an age when men are encouraged to take charge of their physical and mental health, this subject deserves a thoughtful, evidence-based, and stigma-free discussion. Today, we'll explore this question in depth, drawing on physiology, psychology, and practical wisdom to understand what daily ejaculation really means for the body and mind. To begin, it's important to recognize that sexual activity is not simply a physical act. It's an intricate interaction between hormones, the nervous system, and emotional well-being. Ejaculation is a natural biological process that releases semen from the body through rhythmic muscle contractions. It's the culmination of a series of neurological and hormonal signals that begin with arousal, progress through stimulation, and end in a pleasurable release that affects multiple systems from cardiovascular to endocrine. The act itself has immediate and measurable effects on the body's chemistry, particularly in the release of neurochemicals such as dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and prolactin. These substances profoundly influence mood, energy, sleep, and overall balance. The most noticeable benefit many men experience after ejaculation is relaxation and emotional relief. This occurs primarily due to endorphins and oxytocin, both of which reduce stress and promote a sense of calm. The body uses these chemicals as natural tranquilizers, helping to lower cortisol levels and stabilize mood. When this happens daily, some men report better emotional control, lower irritability, and improved sleep. From a psychological standpoint, the release can serve as a healthy outlet for built-up tension or anxiety, especially in individuals who lead high-pressure lives. For them, this regular physiological reset can act like a mental breather, natural way to maintain composure in stressful environments. However, these immediate benefits don't tell the whole story. Ejaculation also triggers prolactin, a hormone associated with the feeling of satiety or satisfaction after orgasm. Elevated prolactin levels contribute to the refractory period, the recovery phase during which arousal temporarily decreases. This hormone is also linked to relaxation and drowsiness, explaining why many men find it easier to fall asleep afterward. Frequent ejaculation, therefore, can improve sleep patterns for some, acting as a natural sedative and reducing mild insomnia. Over time, improved sleep contributes to better cognitive function, sharper focus, and more stable mood indirectly, reinforcing overall wellness. Beyond emotional and sleep-related benefits, ejaculation also influences physical health in more specific ways. One area of interest in medical research has been the relationship between ejaculation frequency and prostate health. A landmark longitudinal study involving thousands of men found that those who ejaculated more frequently, approximated 21 times or more per month, tended to have a lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those with less frequent activity. The hypothesis behind this correlation is that regular ejaculation may help flush out toxins, inflammatory agents, and metabolic byproducts from the prostate gland, keeping the tissue environment healthier. While this doesn't mean that daily ejaculation guarantees protection, it does suggest that consistent sexual activity may contribute positively to long-term prostate maintenance. Another physical benefit often overlooked is the enhancement of circulation. The process of arousal and orgasm involves significant cardiovascular engagement. Heart rate increases, blood vessels dilate, and oxygen delivery improves across the body. This natural vasodilation can help keep the blood vessels responsive, supporting vascular health in a way similar to light exercise. Moreover, sexual activity has been shown to support the production of nitric oxide, a molecule essential for maintaining flexible arteries and promoting strong erections. When this occurs regularly, it reinforces cardiovascular responsiveness and may contribute to overall vitality. Despite these positive aspects, daily ejaculation is not universally beneficial. As with most bodily functions, moderation and intention matter. The first potential drawback arises when the act shifts from choice to compulsion. Compulsive sexual behavior can disrupt mental balance, leading to guilt, distraction, or diminished productivity. In such cases, the release no longer serves as relaxation, it becomes an escape mechanism. The brain's reward center, driven by dopamine, begins to expect frequent stimulation, dulling sensitivity over time. This neurological adaptation can result in diminished pleasure, reduced motivation, or even difficulty achieving satisfaction in real-life relationships. The behavior can evolve into a cycle of craving and relief that undermines emotional equilibrium. From a physiological perspective, daily ejaculation also demands constant replenishment of semen and associated nutrients. Semen contains not only sperm but also vital minerals such as zinc, magnesium, and selenium, elements that play roles in testosterone production, immunity, and energy metabolism. While the body replenishes these reserves naturally, chronic overuse without balanced nutrition or rest can theoretically contribute to fatigue or lower nutrient stores over time. Although this effect is generally mild in healthy men, it highlights the importance of listening to the body's feedback. Persistent tiredness or reduced drive might indicate the need for recovery or lifestyle adjustments. There's also the issue of hormonal balance. Frequent ejaculation temporarily lowers testosterone levels in the short term due to the natural postorgasmic dip. While these levels usually normalize quickly, excessive frequency without adequate rest may keep testosterone marginally lower for longer durations. Since testosterone influences muscle strength, focus, and libido, men who notice a consistent lack of motivation or reduced energy might benefit from moderation. This doesn't mean that ejaculation depletes testosterone permanently. It simply underscores the importance of balance between arousal, release, and recovery. Psychologically, over-reliance on sexual release as a coping mechanism for stress, boredom, or loneliness can mask deeper emotional needs. It may create a pattern in which momentary relief replaces long-term emotional healing. Instead of addressing underlying anxieties or building healthier outlets like exercise, mindfulness, or social interaction, the individual turns to sexual stimulation as the primary escape. Over time, this can limit emotional resilience and reduce satisfaction in non-sexual areas of life. Understanding the emotional motive behind the behavior is therefore critical. Healthy sexuality arises from conscious choice, not from compulsion or avoidance. A subtler, yet significant consequence of daily ejaculation is desensitization. The body's reward system can adapt to frequent stimulation, leading to a gradual reduction in sensitivity or excitement. Some men may find that spontaneous arousal becomes less frequent, or that physical stimulation feels less satisfying. This effect is especially pronounced when ejaculation is achieved through repetitive or hurried patterns, such as during solitary stimulation. The nervous system, conditioned to rapid cycles of arousal and release, may then struggle to adjust to slower, more intimate rhythms with a partner. In such cases, intentionally slowing down the process, taking short breaks, or engaging in mindful techniques like controlled breathing can help restore sensitivity and deepen pleasure. When it comes to reproductive health, daily ejaculation also carries implications for fertility. Men attempting to conceive may notice that too frequent release can reduce sperm concentration temporarily. The body typically requires 48 to 72 hours to regenerate optimal sperm count and quality. While daily ejaculation doesn't necessarily harm sperm health, spacing out activity during conception efforts can improve the chances of successful fertilization. On the other hand, prolonged abstinence may cause older or less motile sperm to accumulate, which also isn't ideal. The goal is balance regular moderate activity that aligns with reproductive goals rather than rigid frequency. It's equally essential to consider the role of psychological satisfaction and relationship dynamics. For men in relationships, sexual activity often serves as a bridge for emotional connection. If daily ejaculation occurs through shared intimacy, it may strengthen bonding, trust, and communication. However, if it occurs primarily through solitary means, it might create distance or reduce the incentive for partnered intimacy. In healthy sexual relationships, mutual understanding and shared rhythm matter more than frequency itself. Open dialogue with one's partner about needs, energy, and comfort can transform sexual activity from a mechanical habit into a meaningful exchange. From a broader wellness standpoint, the frequency of ejaculation should be understood as one variable in a much larger system of health. Physical fitness, nutrition, sleep, stress management, and emotional fulfillment all interact with sexual vitality. For example, men who maintain regular exercise, especially cardiovascular and resistance training, tend to have stronger circulation, higher testosterone levels, and better performance regardless of how often they ejaculate. Similarly, those who eat diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids, leafy greens, and antioxidants support their hormonal and vascular health, indirectly improving sexual resilience. Conversely, men who suffer from chronic stress, poor diet, or sleep deprivation may find that frequent ejaculation worsens fatigue or mood because their baseline recovery capacity is already low. It's also worth noting the influence of age. A man in his 20s with high testosterone and rapid recovery may tolerate daily ejaculation easily, experiencing mostly benefits. By contrast, a man in his 50s or 60s may find that his body requires longer recovery times. As the endocrine system changes with age, the body's ability to sustain daily arousal, orgasm, and energy balance may fluctuate. This doesn't mean older men must abstain, but rather that awareness of one's physical state becomes increasingly important. Sexual health, like physical fitness, evolves with age, and adapting habits accordingly ensures sustainability rather than strain. Modern psychology also suggests that moderation fosters stronger mental discipline. Choosing when and how to engage in sexual activity cultivates self-awareness and control. Men who consciously decide their frequency, rather than acting on impulse, report greater satisfaction and confidence. It reinforces the idea that sexuality is a domain of empowerment, not dependence. Balancing passion with restraint can lead to deeper fulfillment, not because pleasure is denied, but because it's directed intentionally rather than reactively. Ultimately, the question of whether daily ejaculation is healthy cannot be answered in absolute terms. It depends on context, one's physical condition, emotional state, nutritional status, and lifestyle choices. For some, it may enhance relaxation, boost mood, and support prostate health. For others, it may lead to fatigue, desensitization, or imbalance if done compulsively or without awareness. The key lies in self-observation. Men who track their energy levels, mood, and motivation can often determine what rhythm works best for them. If daily release leaves you refreshed, focused, and emotionally stable, it's likely not a problem. If it leads to exhaustion, guilt, or reduced enthusiasm, it may be time to adjust the pace. There's great value in viewing sexuality as part of overall well-being, rather than as an isolated behavior. Just as we fine-tune our diets, exercise routines, and sleep habits, we can fine-tune our sexual habits to align with our health goals. Healthy ejaculation frequency supports vitality, not depletes it. The act itself should contribute to wholeness, not replace it. When integrated into a balanced lifestyle that includes good nutrition, regular physical activity, mindfulness, and meaningful relationships, it can be a source of joy, renewal, and connection. The deeper message is not about the number of times one ejaculates, but about the quality of awareness one brings to it. Sexual energy, like any form of energy, can be spent carelessly or invested wisely. Understanding your body's signals, honoring its limits, and making intentional choices lead to sustainable health and confidence. The conversation about daily ejaculation is ultimately a conversation about self-respect, recognizing that your body is not just a machine of pleasure but a system of intelligence that thrives on balance. In the end, the healthiest approach is curiosity without shame, awareness without judgment, and practice without obsession. Whether daily, weekly, or somewhere in between, what matters most is how it makes you feel, energized, calm, and connected, or tired and detached. The answer lies not in rigid rules, but in mindful observation. Sexual health is deeply personal, and what nourishes one man may deplete another. By listening to your body, respecting its rhythms, and acting with intention, you cultivate not just pleasure but resilience, focus, and peace. The goal is not abstinence or indulgence, but harmony between body, mind, and the natural currents of human vitality.